All right, I will turn this over to Guy to introduce. And then we have some.
I'm gonna need 3 minutes.
Okay.
But you gotta fill in for me here.
All right.
Or bring up something else. I just
We'll ad-lib. So as you may have seen in the emails that we sent out, we were in, we kind of got some feedback from previous calls and other arenas that, there'd be a good opportunity to start like another group where we could talk more about the grant process, grant writing, ways to kind of get agencies of all sizes who are interested and involved in, writing these grants, participating in grants, and just, giving some technical assistance from those who get those, even thinking about brainstorming how, once you've gotten a grant, how are you conceptualizing the implementation phase and kind of structuring through that. There are a lot of places that can get a lot of grants, but they don't necessarily know how to structure the implementation part of that in the best way. So we wanted to put together this group, to help think through those things. So,
Tita, do you want to show the group, the BHLC of PA.org area where
I was going to,
yeah.
I'm going to turn it over to Payne to share on the website. For those who haven't been there yet, we'll show where the grant opportunities are and where this new group will live at. So Payne, you can share your screen.
All right, let me share my screen.
So Payne is doing the amazing work of searching for the funding opportunities that are being sent to you in those email messages that you get, along with the monthly news brief. That is all Payne. And she has basically eliminated and saved a bunch of time by finding these and making them available. So take advantage of them. And obviously this grant group is going to help you do so if you're not quite sure how to proceed. Thanks, Payne.
Yeah, so I've been posting the grant opportunities on our blog. So if you go to the news and events page, it'll pull up and you can see that we have 4 different sections, but you can search it just by grant opportunities. And I go on to just grants.org and search what would be appropriate grants for all the people of this group. And I will post a summary of the grant. I will make the due date very obvious in the picture so you can know. And just as an example, I can just show you kind of what it looks like. It'll tell you when it's due. It'll give you a snippet of the opportunity. And then there's a link to the full grant. So you can always see what the new grants are that I post on here every so often. Towards the end of the year, there's not as many. I haven't been finding as many, but there are a good amount on there that there's still time to apply to if anybody's interested in any of the grants.
And Payne also updates the front page of the site with when she posts new grants, you'll see a little star.
So this little star will come up, and I posted one last week, so that's why this is up here. And you can also click on here, this learn more, and it'll take you to the exact same location on the website. And then in the future, we're going to, under this BHLC groups, I'm going to create a landing page for the grant group where we'll have resources and templates that are shared. And I'll also put a link to the grant opportunities from the blog on here. So it'll be one big section just dedicated to grant opportunities for this group.
And Payne, do you mind just going back to screening and SAP?
Oh, for the group page?
Yeah, go to SAP, please, and just this will show LaTanya and others. If you scroll down where each month
yes,
we post the videos
right here
of these calls. And then we also do, as part of those calls, as you know, Tita arranges agency spotlights, and we edit those out specifically into a shorter clip. So if you missed one that you wanted to see, you can go back and take a look at those.
Yes, lots of resources on this website.
And these will fall under, and we'll also edit the 2 presentations out today into the special presentations section. So those will also be in this section here, so you can quickly get to those. So if somebody asked about sharing those, you could just get it from this area right here below.
Are there any questions about the web? Oh, he's back. Never mind.
No, go ahead, finish up.
I was just gonna ask if there's any questions about the website. Well, if we had time for them, since you were away for a second.
Good. Thanks for accommodating me.
No problem.
All right. So we'll turn it over to Guy.
Okay, so this is not a formal talk. It's just can you see me, Tita? I'm seeing you and am I okay? You can hear me and see me? Yep.
We can see you.
Mhm.
So this isn't a formal teaching talk. It's the launching of a new opportunity. You know, one of the things that's so exciting about the network we have, the clinical network of BH Works across so many sites and so many venues, is not only the clinical learning that we can do, like Wendy just so elegantly kind of talked about how to use the tool, how to assess kids, how to refer, how to join, really the complex clinical work that we do, but also the opportunity to do some research together. So we've always thought of this as a clinical practice research network. And in fact, some of us have done some projects together. A number of sites helped validate the child version. They used it along with a assessment battery and we collected 500 screens on the parent filling out measures about the kids, and now that is being published and that's now available to you guys as a clinical resource. So we're always thinking about opportunities for ways to use this network to do other joint projects together. But what we thought along the way in recent conversations is we also know that a lot of you are thinking about grants, about funding, about program development, whether it's BHS related or not. Just in your agency, there's opportunities that emerge, particularly in this era of COVID. There has been more money pumped into mental health than I've seen in my entire 30 years of doing this work. So there's SAMHSA funding, there's state funding that's coming from the Recovery Act, there's monies at the Department of Education, there's new monies at OMSAS. I'm sure some of you are aware of some of the kind of opportunities that are being offered. And we, as partners with you, as appreciative of the work that you do for us, we thought it would be helpful if we could help you guys go after some of those monies. And what we want to think about doing is starting a grant writing support group, kind of a, and we've thought through a kind of sequence, a kind of curriculum of things that we could do, presentations that we could do, writing groups that we could run, so that if you as an organization are looking at the drug and alcohol department at OMSA, at Harrisburg, and there's monies available, but you got to fill out some application and write a grant proposal. We know a lot of you do this already and do it well. We would like to be able to support that effort. And those of you that don't have a lot of experience and haven't done a lot of it, we'd like to help you elevate your skill set so that you're able to do more of that work as well. So with that said, what we thought would be interesting is if you guys could do this Mentameter, it would just get us, just as a group, a little bit of information about some of your grant writing experiences. And I think there are 2 questions there, and we're just asking you to click on the link and go, and I think it's just 2 questions, right, Payne?
Yep, there's 2 questions, and I can share my screen for a second while the responses are coming in so we can see what people are responding.
Yeah, great. So
you can use the QR code, or you can click on the link that Payne posted in the chat, and you can answer the questions, and I will let Payne share her screen now. You want to share your screen, Payne?
I clicked screen share. Is it not working?
There we go.
Okay. So here
So
we
our
have the
first
three.
question we thought was interesting is, how many grants have you passed up on? You as or your agency, and here's a couple reasons you might have not done it. You don't know how to write a grant, which is completely reasonable. That's a lot of agencies that are not living on grant money. You didn't have the resources to pull it together. You had ideas, you had clinical environments, you even had some knowledge about it, but how do you who's going to write this thing, and then who's going to Xerox it, and who's going to send it off, and who's going to sign up to the website so we can, this is all happens outside your general job description. Come on, I want a few more people to fill it out, right? This 48 people here. This is only, some small responses. We're kind of curious. Unless there's a category of I don't do grants, maybe we should have had that.
Didn't add that in, but that could have been a reason.
Maybe that's why people aren't. Let's assume, well,
Do you want me to move to the second question?
yeah, let's just hold on. So the third reason some people don't write grants is often to write a grant, you have to have a partner, either a clinical setting, like, oh, we want to work with, there's money is available for teen pregnancy, but we don't really have a teen pregnancy program. Is there someone else that does? Or we really need Penn State to work with us on this. We need sort of some academics to bring data analysis and kind of research design, program evaluation things, and we just don't have those kinds of relationships. So there's lots of reasons to not write grants. Another reason is you just hate it and you don't like doing this kind of work, and you don't want to stay up till 3 a.m, because most grants, they come out on Monday and they're due on Friday. You all have been in that trench, I'm sure. So just sometimes we just can't fit it into our life. So there's lots of reasons we don't write them. Let's see what the next one was. So we were kind of curious of the scope, just what kind of grants, when you are writing grants, what size are they? Are they big SAMHSA grants? Are they small, smaller foundation grants? And we're just sort of curious where most of you are landing. Okay. So we got a good group doing smaller, $20,000, $20,000 to $100,000. That's not an uncommon good foundation grant. Even some, state grants look in that zone. Some couple $100,000 grants. It's reasonable. Couple people writing big grants over 500, or anything over 500 is a big grant. That's either multi-year or multi-site, and then one person's doing over $1 million grants. Good chance that's a SAMHSA grant, or yeah, right. We didn't have a no
grant cat. We'll add the next time.
We got to.
Sorry about that.
Put that back in. So. Well, I'm assuming the 30 people that aren't responding are a no. It's possible.
Well, hopefully move them into one of these categories.
Our commitment to you guys for all the hard work you do is to see if we can't move you up the scale. That at least you're going after some. Now, maybe it's not relevant, you don't need it, and you have a system for paying for services, and I'm not saying everybody has to be writing grants, But most community agencies we've worked with over our 30 years are always looking for funding opportunities, resources, staff development. And this is an era. There are opportunities abounding that we have never seen before because of the American Recovery Act and COVID recovery. And we're hoping people can take advantage of that. It could either be you writing a small grant to OMSOS to do some services. It could be a collective project where 10 of us get together and say, okay, we're gonna do a multi-site thing, give us $1 million. We'll distribute that money. Okay, good. All right, what do we have next? And we have more slides.
Yes, we do.
So I just want to talk about this process a little bit more. We're not going to jump into any particular grant today or anything like that. So okay. So
These are the other questions that we put on here, but we can.
It's audience participation. So you have the reactions on the Zoom. We're gonna ask a series of questions. Raise your hand or green check yes or no, red X. So it's gonna be some audience participation here. All right. First question.
Actually, why don't you stop sharing for a minute? Let's just see if there's any questions that have come up just from that first couple things.
Yeah.
Some people said they don't apply for grants but would like to. Can somebody speak to that? Like what happens? Why not? Anybody want to share their challenges around writing grants like that?
I don't have any. This is Brandy Sheeler. I work for Red Lion School District. I don't apply for them just because we have a business office that takes care of that for us, which is really nice. So I kind of get out of it. But it is something that I think in the future I would like to do, specifically because there's some things for my homeless students that I might, want to take advantage of. And I know there's a lot of money for mental health right now. But it's very specific to get it. And I don't think I have the time to dedicate to how much time I'm spending in each particular little niche, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we know that a lot of you that come to this call may not be the person who writes the grants at your agencies, that someone else is doing that. And I think in the next set of questions, we sort that out a little bit, but so you're sort of representing your own professional growth potential and also maybe just thinking about where's our agency at and what do we do and could we do more things? So that's great. Anybody else want to talk about their agency or what they do? I could call out people and I'm good at that.
Well, in the
There are
chat,
some chats. Oh,
Yeah.
Mark.
yeah, sorry,
Is there
Payne.
some,
Christina says she has a grants writing team at
Oh, wow.
Congresso, so she doesn't do them herself, and they forward any opportunities to them, and they evaluate what is worth or able to be done.
okay, that's great.
Heidi Martin says she would like to, but she doesn't have the time because the SAP referrals are so high currently.
Yeah, those of us in the clinical trench are not likely going to be writing grants. It generally falls on executive directors or program development. And I think some of the bigger agencies like Congresso often have organizations, organized resource to do some of this. What can happen is if we were to identify opportunities together, maybe you don't write the grant, but maybe you become a performance site. That's what we call it. Like, I have a particular interest in delinquency kids or school refusal, and let's get 5 sites together. Congresso will write the grant, but 5 of us will be involved. That's sort of the potential of a group like we have here. It's, not easy to realize, but we want to keep creating that vision. All right, let's go back to our questions, Payne. some more things to think about. So one is sort of what we were saying, you know, if you, at your agency, are you writing the grants or is someone else writing the grants? And is that something you'd like to be part of if you're not, or, you know, have you been involved at all? Is that something that interests you? And, you know, it's just a different way organizations would organize resources to do that. Let's go to the next question. Are people responding to these questions?
So for these,
I think
on
we
the,
need the gallery view.
So one way I'll do it is I'll after each question, I'll stop sharing so we can see the gallery view and people can respond via that way. So we can go back to this one here and I will stop sharing and people can raise. So we got some X's, so a lot of no's to that last question. You have a couple.
and if you're not familiar with the Zoom, you're looking at the base of your screen and there's something called reactions. And you're gonna either click the green check mark or the X.
So you got some green. Mary from Cora, she's green. You have Deborah, green. A lot of reds though. Okay.
Okay. So these reds are people who are not responsible for writing the grants, right? That's how we're interpreting it, Tita?
Yep.
Okay.
A couple. All right, next question here.
So here we were curious of the agencies. Only one person mentioned that they had $1 million grant, but even under $1 million, how many people have ever applied for a SAMHSA grant? Let's go back and see the X's and we got to get rid of all those responses. Clear your response. I don't know how to do that. And then let's see.
You just unclick it if you don't want to respond. Or click it again.
And the reason we have the SAMHSA grant is that's where a lot of this money is coming down right now. A lot of it's going to go through SAMHSA. There's going to be money poured into crisis services. There's going to be money poured into mental health and the police. There's already over $1 billion, I think. I don't know if Alan's here. He knows some of he keeps track of this more than I. The Department of Education got a huge amount of money. They don't even know what to do with it yet and whether they're going to divvy it up, let schools apply. I mean, it is raining. And we want you guys to take advantage of it, and we're happy to help.
Yeah, and there's one comment from Paula saying, thank you for great speaker presentations. I do not currently write the grants, and the barrier for her would be time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, make dinner or write a grant. Which one do I do? Don't sleep or write a grant, or sleep or write a grant. That's often what you can't get anything done during the day, let's be honest. And if you do anything like this, it happens at night or on the weekends. And then, you know, we got kids and we got food and shopping and snow to shovel. But now we got each other. That's our goal. We got each other. Okay, what's the next one, Dane?
It's state and foundation grants.
State or foundation grant.
Okay, so unclick your responses from the last one. And now we want to see who's writing state grants, home sauce.
DDAP.
What's the drug and alcohol one, Tia? Where
DDAP.
DDAP.
So you got a lot more green ones now.
Yeah, so more people in that zone. That's great. And we're going to bring those grants opportunities. I mean, we already do. We're going to show you where we're listing these kind of grant opportunities, but.
Next question.
Okay, so turn off your lights and so we can start again. You know, one thing in writing grants is it's very helpful to have an academic partner. These people live and die by grants. They write them every day. What they often don't have is the clinical setting that you have. And it makes a great partnership. Penn State just did a big grant on screening for depression in schools. They don't have schools. They went to 5 different school districts, made partnerships, and for 3 years worked together to screen for depression. We just wrote a universal screening grant in schools, and we're going to work with we're going to try to get 50 school districts to participate. So there's a lot of performance site academic partnerships that we think can really help. We're happy to be that. We're happy to help broker that. Penn State does a lot of this work. Obviously, you're on the West Coast. Pittsburgh does a lot of this work, Western site. But it is one thing to think about how to better position yourself to be able to take advantage of these things. All right, we're running out of time.
So we have some people saying yes to academic partners. It looks like about 7 or so, 6 or 7.
Yeah. Good.
All right.
Hey, what else do we?
I think Christina had a question or raised her hand.
No, that was by mistake. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right. We have the structure.
And maybe for those who said they do work with an academic institution, if you just want to put in the chat, if you care to share, that would be interesting, I think.
Yeah. So here's what we're planning to do. And this could be you, or you could pass this on to your grant writing team. We know Cora has reached out to us. Cora is a big group in Philadelphia. Mary, fantastic CEO, and she writes a lot of grants, but she'd love to have more help, love to partner more. So you could send this message to the team or to the executive director, say, hey, the Drexel group is offering yet another resource to us. Unbelievable. We already have TITA. Now we're getting this more stuff. So we want to start. We're going to start. We were thinking we're going to start next month. We were thinking we would start out meeting bi-monthly because we know how busy everybody is. We're going to have to find a time. Could be anyone from your agency. Part of that is going to be an educational moment. It'll be a chance to, we're going to bring in some people to talk about foundation grants. I'll probably give a talk on SAMHSA grants just to kind of show you what they look like and how you construct them, whether you ever write one or not. We just want to try to socialize you to grant thinking. There's a particular logic to a grant, a particular way you think about it, you present an argument, and just going to help socialize that. We're also, eventually or right away that you could bring grant either opportunities. Hey, this just came out from a foundation. Does anyone want to jump in on this with me? Or I'm writing something and I need someone to read it. And that we would, try to rally resources to help review some grants. The biggest problem with a grant is you never have enough time to really write it, and you're always sending in something that you just wish you had another week to read it again. And so we want to try to do some of that with you. So we're going to look at some SAMHSA grants. We're going to look at foundation grant structures. We're going to, on the website, Payne, did you go over that yet? I know you were.
Yes, we did show where the website sections are before.
So if we're whetting your appetite, if we're getting you excited, you're going to start looking at that section more often. And if you have questions about something, you call us. Tita's always available. And say, hey, could you help me think about this? And either we'll bring it to the group, or we'll consult with you directly. You are part of our family now. You have been for years. This learning collaborative has been a very exciting thing. So we're Tita's calling it the Fawn. We'll have to think that through a little bit, but
That's just a tentative name.
That wasn't
We
mine.
have other options.
anyone who comes to the first group gets to help name us.
Triple G,
Triple G.
That's,
Triple G,
What is that?
guys.
Grant
girls,
Sprint.
that's not it.
What's that? Oh, guys. So we're thinking of having our first meeting December 7th. What day of the week is that, Tita?
The Tuesday.
All
Yeah,
right, it's Tuesday.
I canceled your other meeting that we have at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not gonna be the ongoing time, but I wanted to get in before everybody leaves for the holidays.
Yeah, right, there we go.
And we'll do some stuff in, I think, February, and we'll find a better time for it. But for now, it's that day. We'll send out a Zoom invite for that group, and we'll choose the February date at that meeting.
All right, anything else? Hey, that's the end, right? So,
Our next group call is December on the 15th. So we'll see you back for this call Wednesday, December 15th at 1. And we'll see a lot of you hopefully on the 7th for the kickoff for that group call.
good.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks
That
for
was good.
coming out, everybody. We know how busy you are. We hope we keep offering you value.